Welcome indeed to Croke Park for this Leinster Senior Hurling final, and we're looking forward to, well, we hope will be an intriguing contest. This is their third meeting in 2012. Galway lost by 9 points in the Walsh Cup final and were torpedoed by 25 in the league. So certainly the hottest of favourites must be that famous black and amber jersey. Here's a man who's been in charge since 1999, 58 next Thursday. July 12th, 1954 is the date of birth. And since he's taken charge, they've played 57 championship games. And what about this for a record? They've won 50, drew only 1 and lost 6. When you put that together, it's 6 National League titles, 8 All-Irelands and 12 Leinster. It's a pretty impressive CV.
I think that's an understatement, Marty, really. You know, I mean, the thing is they have been, you know, on modern times, really. I mean, they're non-pareil as regards, you know, hurling teams. They have it all. They have height, they have strength, and they have, you know, top-class skill. And, you know, I'm never tired of saying they have an almost unbeatable system, and the work rate of their half forwards and full forwards coming back into midfield and coming back into defence, you know, that augments the defensive 6 that they have already. So they're very, very difficult to beat. So it will take a huge effort from Galway. A good start, I think, is needed by Galway. First 20 minutes, if they can get ahead, of course, that's the thing. But the biggest thing is, like, not to concede early goals and not to concede, make the defensive slip-ups that will hand Kilkenny easy frees or easy goals.
Since they beat Kilkenny in the All-Ireland semi-final of 2005, Galway have failed to get past the quarter-final. This is a big test today. There is a mist falling from the sky down on top of these players, which is going to make conditions just a little bit difficult in the early stages until they find their feet as such. For James McGrath, it's a big day from Turin, County Westmeath. He's been in the national panel since 1998, but this is his very first senior Leinster title. The game is on. The Leinster final of 2012 with Galway winning the toss. There is no wind. There is a slight mist, as I said, but they're going to try and score down as much as possible down at that canal end. As Kilkenny get into their stride earlier. Killian Buckley trying to lay it off under a little bit of pressure from David Collins, returning from injury. Gathering it here is Paddy Hogan, dispossessed however by Conor Cooney. Scored 2 cracking goals in the semi-final, dropping in. David Herity is under a bit of pressure, and the referee's whistle is blown, and he's given a free out to David Herity. But slippery ball right under the crossbar, but the goalkeeper did really well.
Well, he did well, and you know, David Burke came in on top of him there, Marty, and he held the ball out, but pushing on the keeper, and you know, justifiable free out, but danger there for Kilkenny. And Galway have started opening impressively enough, good tackling, and they're attacking Kilkenny a little bit.
Batted down by Andy Smith. Tommy Walsh coming forward under pressure. Gathering it here is Niall Burke, under 21 star of last year. And what about that for a start? Wonderful strike, really good score for the tribesmen. They're up and running.
Yeah, a little uncharacteristic error there by you know, Tommy Walsh. Lost the ball, won it from the puck out, lost it, and Niall Burke with a great score from out the field. And that, every chance they get, if they can knock it over the bar, that will give them a little bit of confidence, and they'll settle them down a little bit.
Tuck out by David Herity. Kilkenny going forward. Ball comes free as Irla Tanya. Slither on the hurl. Takes it forward. The finish will be a disappointment. It's crucial from a Galway perspective when you're playing an awesome intimidating team like Kilkenny, who've been so good and so impressive. Indeed, I'm sure everybody are fans of what Kilkenny have achieved over the last number of years, but when you're playing a really good team like this, you cannot concede goals too early.
No, Marty, and we sat here in the past, you know, a ball like that from your Italian with a talent like Joe, you know, with Joe Talent inside. Surely the thing is to feed him as early as you can into Joe Canning.
And it is down for Joe Canning! What a start! What a goal! Long ball from Irla Tanyan down to Big Joe. Joe Canning from Portumna. Deep ball, great hands by Canning. Unstoppable. A brilliant start by the tribesmen. Look at it from every angle, any angle, and pick it out of the back of the Kilkenny net.
Yeah, and Joe, Marty, it is interesting to see that Jackie Turtle has moved into full back, as he did, we say, on Lark Corbett and last year's final, and Noel Hickey's in the left corner. So that will be a plus for Joe Canning if they can feed him enough ball right. Jackie Turtle is more at home in the corner, so that will give Galway a fierce boost. Andy
Smith trying to get away from Owen Larkin, half blocked. Ball into space. 2 years ago when these teams met in the Leinster final, a lot of criticism on Joe Canning. He only scored 2 points, one from a free in that final, and of course very much the scoring potential built around this new team that Anthony Cunningham is composing is around this man, Joe Canning, scoring a cracking goal at the very start of the game within the first 2.5 minutes of this Leinster final. It's the start that Galway could only wish for. Canning laying it off. Farrell's Niall Burke on the turn, and it's all Galway in Croke Park. It's his second point of the match.
Yeah, great score there by Niall Burke. But what was interesting about that, Marty, is Galway moving the ball short. They're committing then the Kilkenny players to come in on 1-on-1s, and they're moving the ball, and that's an excellent point again for Niall Burke, his second of the game. David Collins has also moved out to right half back, and you know, Fergal Moore's across in the right corner, so a couple of switches, we'll get to them later on.
Galway have done to Kilkenny what Kilkenny like to do to their opponents, and at the moment Galway are rocking and rolling here in Croke Park, and it's Joe Canning moving out from the full forward line, stepping by Brian Hogan, giving it inside to Burke. That central axis of Burke and Canning posing problems in the early stages for Kilkenny. And the Cats, their cage may be rattled, but I'm sure they'll settle very quickly. Sideline ball favours Galway. Brian Gavin, the linesman, indicating it's a quick ball that's going to be taken by Irla Tanyan, but he's been told to calm it down, take his time. Art Drahanman won 2 Fitzgibbons in his younger days with LIT, as that ball is dropped in. Ball is dropped. Slippery ball with that mist just falling around 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Dublin. Ball breaks free. Over for is Damien Hayes. Just misjudged the shot, and it is Galway's second wide of the game.
Well, you can see there, you know, good tackling from Galway, and James McGrath is the type of referee that lets this go, and you know, Galway tackle well. Ball out to Damien Hayes. I think he should have nearly, you know, tried to take on the man there, like on a 1-on-1, but unfortunately struck a wide. Here we'll see the good tackling, ball lost there, and once it came to Damien Hayes, possibly he should have taken on the man.
Puck out from David Herity, comes down again from Irla Tanyan, who's getting on an mounted ball in the middle of the field. Many people in Galway feel he's better around that central field area because it gives them a lot of space. Ball blocked down. Conor Cooney scored 2 cracking goals in the semi-final against Offaly. Back there is Tommy Walsh. Second time he's hooked. Walsh hits, pushed by the corner forward from Galway. Cooney fouls, free for Walsh.
Yeah, a little shake of his head there, but he gave it a little slight little tug, and Tommy made the best of it there, Marty. I think, you know, he knew when to go down. Ball was lost, and gets a relieving free from the corner. But you'd have to be impressed by Galway's work rate from at the very beginning, and if they can keep this up, it will certainly you know, challenge Kilkenny's dominance.
The dressing room beforehand, Galway were very calm, very focused. The word that was being used around the dressing room was intensity and passion. And certainly they have brought it to the table. They brought it to the pitch after 6.5 minutes, leading by 5 points. Johnny Cole, Loch Rayman, corner back into 2009 minor All-Ireland winning team. Tommy Walsh floats it in. David Collins battling with Owen Larkin. Coming forward is Tony O'Gregan. misses it the first time through to the hook. On the floor is Colin Fennelly. Referee's whistle is blown. He's going to give a throw ball. Fennelly slowly getting to his feet. But you have to say, Donald, from a Galway perspective, they've started well, haven't they?
Well, they started very well, Marty, and they have a good pace to their tackling and to their forward play. And they made a few switches, as I said. Johnny Cohen's gone back in the corner, Fergal Moore's in the right corner, and David Collins is out the wing.
There's a bit of afters going on here, and some of the Kilkenny players didn't like that Iarla Tanyan seemed to get entangled with Conal Fennelly as he was hitting the ball. We might be able to see it again in a moment, but certainly the Kilkenny players reacted as Fennelly was still getting some attention, some medical attention.
Yeah, well, there was a little bit of argy-bargy before the throw-in as well, not much because James McGrath threw the ball in, but you're going to expect that, Marty. Galway are well up for this game, and I suppose their attitude is we're not going to let anything go, and we're going to, you know, front up and face up to Kilkenny and see how good they are.
Tanyan again gets a touch, fires Tony O'Gregan, sprays it over towards Joe Canning. Jackie Tyrrell just got a slight little touch to it just to put him off a little bit, and Tyrrell drives it down in front of the Hogan stand. Galway first to the ball. This occasion Fergal Moore just loses possession, picked up by Richie Hogan, trying to get away. Look at where Joe Canning is, dispossessing Richie Hogan, and Galway counter-attack down towards Conor Cooney. Nice stick work, showed a little bit too much to the 3-times All-Star Noel Hickey from Dunnamaggin. Long ball down towards Andy Smith, comes away with it however is Johnny Cohen, gives it plenty of air. Underneath it again is Cooney. Hickey just beaten to it on this occasion. Nice pick-up indeed by Richie Doyle, chased by Niall Burke. Doyle hand passes it, well gathered on this occasion by Killian Buckler to Fennelly. In comes Tanyan with a hefty challenge, and again, and they have continued their little argy-bargy, to use Donald O'Grady's word that started a while ago. The referee's whistle is blown. It's a free for Kilkenny.
Yeah, and the free there was nothing wrong with the tackle, but you saw the little tug on the shirt there, and the referees are getting very, you know, sharp on that. Any little tug on the shirt or the shorts, and they'll give a free immediately. But that's the one thing that Galway can't afford to do. I mean, they're 5 points up, but they've handed a silly free now to Henry Shefflin, and he could well open his account.
Almost 10 minutes gone in this first half. First scoring opportunity for Kilkenny wasted by Shefflin, and look at the way the Galway players are reacting. Talk about intensity, talk about self-belief, and indeed passion. Galway have it all in abundance so far. It's early days. Good hands by Tony O'Gregan.
Yeah, but the important thing there, Marty, was that he took the steps out, and that gives him good balance and gives him a bit of, you know, force going forward, and picked up a handy free.
It's not often we see on our television screens 10 minutes gone. Kilkenny, no score. Galway 1-2. Damien Hayes thought about going left, went right instead, along the sideline. Gathering here is Cyril Donlan. Nicely hooked. Back there is the Kilkenny captain O'Larkin. Goes forward first, TJ Reid. Scored a cracking goal against Dublin. Ball rebounds first, David Burke. The hand pass is a poor one. Hickey gets to it first. It comes first, Hayes. Right in front of the Hogan, is dropping in, and it's an easy ball for David Herity, goalkeeper. He may have been well defended and protected over the last number of seasons, David Herity, and indeed PJ Ryan before him, but you sense that Galway are going to test this Kilkenny defence today. David Collins might be playing at right half back, but he goes back into a corner back position. Nice stick work by Tony O'Gregan, sends it down the sideline. Oops, Damien Hayes, we knew what he was trying to do, the quick ball, but it seemed to just swirl onto the hurley and out over the sideline. Yeah,
well, it's a little bit greasy down there, Marty, and that's a very difficult skill to, you know, when the ball is flying at pace as it was, just to knock it back straight away. He might have been better off just to try and get his own possession and then run. But Galway, Damien Hayes is playing roving out, Joe Canning is roving out of time, so they're really asking questions of the Kilkenny defence.
Poor sideline ball from Paddy Hogan, sent down by Iarla Tanyan in the centre. It's Brian Hogan. Powerful centre half back. Andy Smith running forward and pulled down is Niall Donoghue. Donoghue is playing at right half back. At least he should be, but he's gone into the corner. Here's a young man that He's a natural fullback, and in time probably will wear the number 3 jersey for his county. That's where he won an under-21 All-Ireland medal. Ball is sent in towards Joe Canning. Lovely little touch, lovely little flick up and taken out of it by Jackie Tyrrell, and that is a free in for Galway. This is going to be a different day, one senses, for Joe Canning. Look at the stick work here, tried to flick it up high. Tyrrell came in with the frontal challenge.
Yeah, Marty, and he's moving across each position in the full forward line, and he was being picked up that time by Paul Murphy. I think Kilkenny will have to decide that they're going to man mark him possibly, but if it's a case that Jackie Tyrrell is on him or Paul Murphy is on him, then I think Joe will be better off standing at the edge of the square because they don't have the experience of playing full back position.
Gives you an idea of the angle and indeed the concentration. Sizing up his prospects. Joe Canning. 20-metre line. It's over the bar. 13 minutes gone. In the first half, it's Galway 1-3. Leinster and All-Ireland champions Kilkenny yet to score. Somebody has rewritten the script. We weren't quite expecting this from Galway. Puck out from David Herity. Can they maintain it? Can Kilkenny respond? Knocked down by Fergal Moore. Damien Hayes laying it off. Whereas Andy Smith, the Portumna combination, running forward. Coming into challenges Hogan. Taken down. And it's interesting what Andy Smith decided to do to tear into a different gear, up it and run at the Kilkenny defence. And this was Hogan's response.
Yeah, Marty, when you look at that again, I mean, James McGrath, the referee, has been very lenient, I think, with Brian Hogan. He's just merely spoken to him there, no tick. That normally turns up as a yellow card. I think he's giving you a little tick now, but just explaining that's on him. But normally that's a straight yellow card, and by running straight at defenders, it's very difficult for any defence to cope with that.
Canning once more. It's an easy one for a man with a range of skills that we've grown to admire over the last number of seasons since he made such an impact as a minor and under-21 star.
Yeah, Marty, you know, there's been Kilkenny's had 6 puckouts. They won the first one and subsequently lost it, and they've lost each and every one of them since then, so it's giving Galway a platform in the half-back line to build their attacks.
TJ Reid and Tony O'Gregan. Regan comes out with the ball, slither in hand, lays it off quickly. Nipping in, however, is Richie Hogan. Challenged by the opposite number 15 in their own half of the field, Galway. That was Damien Hayes, and the referee felt that Damien Hayes was being fouled, and he's giving a free to Galway. Hogan protested. He says, "What, me?" And there's an extra 13 metres.
Moi, but I mean, he clearly pulled him, I think, by the, you know, but watch it again here now, there's good tackle, and then I think that, you know, there was a little bit of, yeah, definitely he swung him around. Maybe, you know, 6 and 1.5 doesn't know, but that's definitely a foul. The referee will always give that. You see it there, Richie used to push him to the ground, and you know, this gives a chance now to Joe Canning, whereas it wasn't a scoreable free, but when the referee brings it forwards and it's supposed to be brought forward 13 metres, that could be 15 or 16 metres, so this is definitely a chance. The important thing is not to hit it wide, Marty.
He's just a few metres outside the Kilkenny 65-metre line. There you go. That's where he is. Now, it's dropping over the crossbar. It's a goal and 3 points for Joe Canning. Niall Burke with 2 points. And although it's early days, almost 16 minutes gone, but Joe Canning is becoming the central figure.
Yeah, that was a great free, Marty, you know, pressure free, and that shows that Joe's on his game. The early goal, of course, will have built his confidence, an excellent free taker, excellent skills all round, and when he's playing well, you know, that's a great fillip for Galway. 16
minutes, 12 seconds gone in the first half. The All-Ireland champions yet to score. Here is Cyril Donlan on the run. He hits it, and it's left and wide. Back in 2010, there was a crowd of 31,376. I think the crowd today is a lot smaller, but what entertainment. Those who have paid the tickets into this Leinster hurling final so far. Entertainment in terms of the skill of Galway. Kilkenny unable to cope so far, and the scoreline of almost 17 minutes gone, and Kilkenny nowhere near scoring, bar Henry Shefflin's free. Sideline ball to Galway, just inside their 45-metre line. Johnny Cohen.
And just gone out of shot there was Damien Hayes. That's down, you know what, 40 metres from their own goal, and he's roaming and he's going back into the defence. So if Galway's fitness will hold out, they're certainly putting up a major challenge to Kilkenny.
Centre half back Niall Burke, knocks it back for Damien Hayes, under a bit of pressure, has to get it. Hogan is the central defender for Kilkenny, comes out for Johnny Cohen, swings it over to the opposite side, over towards the Hogan stand, a race for possession. Going down, lovely stick work again, this time by Conor Cooney, St. Thomas's man, All-Ireland minor medalist 2 years ago, gives it back to David Collins, the right corner back. He's been out all season and he rarely scores, but he does it in Croke Park in a Leinster hurling final, which is becoming more than just interesting.
Well, Marty, you look up at the clock, almost 80 minutes gone and no score for Kilkenny on the board, and the only chance they had was a free from Henry Shefflin. But this is, you know, the type of play that Galway are playing. Short ball, committing Kilkenny to one-on-ones, and they're winning that battle hands down.
Sent back by the captain of Galway, Fergal Moore. Kilkenny, however, survived this particular onslaught. It's Richie Hogan sending it down towards Finlay. The good hard-working Johnny Cohen takes the shoulder straight on from Richie Power. Joe Cannon backfires Johnny Cohen, light on the feet but strong in terms of the physical strength. The referee's whistle is blown. There was a tap down and there's a free out for Kilkenny.
Well, I'd like to look at that again, Marty. I think he attempted to play the ball and just you know, came into contact with Brian Hogan's hurley. I don't think there was that much about it, but I'd like to see it again.
David Herity coming out to take this free. Kilkenny lads, you can know by the close-up of our cameras there that they're a little bit worried at the moment. This is not supposed to be happening.
They're not used to this, Marty.
They're not used to it. Ball comes down. Tapped down by Richie Power. Tony O'Gregan is protesting vehemently, and as a result of the protest there's an extra 13 metres. He's explaining to the Galway defenders that there was a pull of the jersey which he saw, and if that is correct, well then he's dead right to give the free. Let's have a look at it here.
Well, I didn't see a whole thing. I didn't see anything wrong. I didn't think there was a free in or a free out, Marty.
Henry Shefflin, 19 and a half minutes gone in this Leinster final, and that's the very first score for Kilkenny. There was lovely skill here from Richie Power, but the jersey pull was there. We can see it there.
Oh, yeah, we see from that angle, yeah.
Yes.
The referee picked it up.
Ball comes out for Azir Latana. Rebounds over for Neil Dunham. Flick on as far as Andy Smith. Made his championship debut in 2008 against Leash. Sliding along the ground, almost gathering it as Sir Dunham. He has it now. Away he goes. Trying to look to see if anybody's inside. Difficult enough angle. Hovering over here is David Burke. Ball breaks free from Tommy Walsh. Doesn't concede the 65. Look where Richie Hogan is. Playing almost a right corner back in an effort to try and get possession for the Cats. Henry Shefflin, Richie Power. Ball breaks free for Azir Latana. Lovely little flick up. And he is beginning to blossom. Hits the shoulder of Owen Larkin. Joe Canning almost sandwiched by two Kilkenny Cats. And it comes back for Azir Latana. Lays it off for Donlan. Donlan from Gurteen, Ballymacward in East Galway is fouled, and that is a free in for Galway. Tremendous heart, passion from the tribesmen as Kilkenny step up the challenge.
That's the second free by Brian Hogan, and that shows that Kilkenny under pressure very seldom do they give away a free in those areas. But the whole key to Galway's offensive plan is that they're using the short ball and they're committing the Kilkenny defence to one-on-ones. And normally Kilkenny like to play as a unit and to suck up the forwards into a channel, and then they snuff out the chances. But Galway are creating one-on-ones here. Massive possession, as you see.
Look at that statistic, Donald. 61% possession for Galway.
Well, Kilkenny one score in 19.5 minutes, Marty.
Joe Canning raises another white flag. That's a goal and 4 points as Brian Cody reflects what's happening on the field with a change in his team. Aidan Fogarty, who we've seen so many times score crucial goals, is the man that's selected to join the Kilkenny attack. Further out the field, it seems to be that Galway are dominant. Colin Fennelly with that injury seems to be the source of their difficulty. Coming away with it is Damien Hayes. Lays it off. Farrell's Donlan. Donlan steadies. Donlan shoots. And Cyril Donlan scores. His first in this Leinster hurling final. Scored 1-1 against Westmeath, 3 against Offaly, and 1 against Kilkenny. And coming on is number 22, Aidan Fogarty, from the Emeralds Club in Kilkenny. And going off is Colin Fennelly, who seemed to pick up an injury in the early stages.
Yeah, shipped a heavy tackle, but Kilkenny haven't got the grips at all with the roving Damien Hayes, and he's creating fierce problems for Kilkenny, getting onto a loaded ball and then using it very, very well. And that's the difference. Galway using the ball.
Ball inside, far is David Burke, hucking it down, he can score! Magnificent goal! Wow, what a shocker in Croke Park when you least expect it. Everybody thought Kilkenny were unbeatable. It's early, it's only 23 minutes in the first half, but look at the scoreline, and look at this for a cracking goal. David Burke, take it out, Galway.
Fantastic strike, Marty, but that's the whole thing. The ball is being used, they're coming off the defenders very, very well, and they're getting the ball then. There's no aimless balls being struck in, and you know, when you look at the scoreline, 2-8 to a point. If you walked in, you think that the scoreboard was wrong, that Kilkenny should be up, and Galway really giving Kilkenny a lesson today. Henry
Shefflin coming in to get first clean ball. Right beside him is the Andy Smith. Damien Hayes, Cyril Donlan, lovely little flick up, and look at the hard shoulder on Paul Murphy. 4 Galway players around 1 Kilkenny man. Can Kilkenny get to terms with this challenge? Owen Larkin back quickly for his Killian Buckley, gives the ball in fast and furious, but it's a Galway man that's there. Johnny Cohen, he certainly has a great engine because he's been everywhere so far. The ball is deflected. It is one and only Tanya flicks it forward, he's run out of ground, and that's a sideline ball for Kilkenny. It's breathless stuff in Croke Park.
Marty, Galway are completely dominating around in the middle of the field, you know, and it's Michael Fennelly, of course, and Michael Rice, their 2 top midfielders are out injured, and Kilkenny are really shell-shocked at the moment. You know, 25 minutes gone almost, and just 1 point in the board, and that's from a free.
Sideline ball taken by Richie Doyle. Slither in the middle of that scramble. Richie Power is there with the green and gold helmet. But coming away with it is Collins. Loses possession, however. And it's a free for Kilkenny as Richie Hogan gathered the ball. Referee James McGrath is going to have a word, just a ticking, in fact, with David Collins.
Yeah, I thought Collins was a little unlucky there. Richie Hogan seemed to tackle him high, just giving a little push, but lost the ball somewhere. He had it in his possession, lost the ball somewhere.
Well, they just saw themselves on the screen and it went from a glum face to a very happy face. Must be the only Kilkenny man that's happy at the moment, I'd say, as Henry Shefflin takes the fray. And that is going left and wide. It is not often that Henry Shefflin disappoints his manager.
Well, it just shows, Marty, you know, when you're under pressure, you're under pressure, and Shefflin has gone now in full forward, and whatever Kilkenny are trying to do, they're taking off. I think Paddy Hogan at this stage, I just mentioned that they're under pressure midfield, and I think they're going to introduce Michael Rice.
Ball goes down far as the aforementioned Paddy Hogan. Goes long. Good hands again by Johnny Cohen. He's like a vacuum cleaner back there. He's sweeping up everything. Gives it to Tony O'Regan, son of Horse. The Horse Reagan will be proud of the son this afternoon if they maintain this. Tommy Walsh gathers, has to send it low. Good call by Walsh. Kilkenny use the fast ball in, and again it's Johnny Cohen. Almost miscued it, but going back there is his captain, Fergal Moore, Turlock Moorman. Goes long as Galway continue to try and put the pressure on this Kilkenny defence. The linesman, Brian Gavin from Offaly, gives it to Galway. Correct decision. Sideline ball going to be taken by David Burke as Kilkenny now make the change. Coming on is Michael Rice. Going off is Paddy Hogan. So a change in the middle of the field. Rice, a vital component. That midfield combination for Kilkenny of Michael Fennelly and Michael Rice has worked so powerfully in the past. Sometimes Rice is named at centre forward, but usually around that triangle. Joe Canning gives it back for his David Burke, and he hits it sweetly, beautifully inside the post. It's a goal and a point for David Burke, captain of the minor team, beaten by Kilkenny in the All-Ireland final of 2008. But this will gain some bit of revenge. Wonderful score.
Great score there from David Burke, but audacious little sideline to him. But you think Kilkenny will be looking for that?
TJ Reid leaves it off first. Killian Buckley takes on the challenge, trying to break down this Galway defence. Comes back outside first. Hogan, hard-working Richie back there as well. It's Richie Hogan, and it's Galway to come away with it. The ball bobbling all over the place. It's David Collins, gives it long. 1-on-1 between Hogan and Niall Burke. Nipping in, however, laying it off first. The number 22 is Aidan Fogarty, operating around the half-forward line. Fogarty goes for a score, and the umpire says it's wide. Well, the wide gives us a chance to breathe a little bit. Good defending here by Galway.
Yeah, well, there was a chance for Richie Hogan to knock it over the bar, I think, at one stage, and I think they had it in their mind to look for goals, but points will do them still. They'll need to get 3 or 4 or 5 points maybe back on the board, and because if they're going to try and go for goals to the massed Galway defence, well, they'll be setting things up for the defence.
Comes back, fires Brian Hogan, goes long. It's 2 against 1 up here. Back there is Johnny Cohen. Henry Shefflin's moved in full forward, a tactic we've seen so many times in the past. Coming away with it is Fergal Moore, twice an All-Ireland minor winner in 1999 and 2000. Are these players finally beginning to blossom to senior level? Ball breaks kindly for Cyril Donlan. He's already scored once in this first half, trying to make an angle for himself. He's going for it again. Is it good enough? It is beautiful. It is Cyril Donlan with his second point, and look at the scoreboard on your television screens. 28 minutes, almost 29. Galway 2-10, Kilkenny 1 point. The point from a free by Henry Shefflin after 19 and a half minutes. Richie Power from the middle of the field drives it in. Gathering it is the goalkeeper, James Scahill. This is a Galway defence that conceded 7 goals, 27 points to Westmeath and Offaly. They have now kept the Leinster and All-Ireland champions virtually scoreless for almost a half an hour. What has happened?
They've got their matchups very, very good up in they're putting the Kilkenny defence, their half-back line under severe pressure, and this is the half-back line that normally launches attacks for Kilkenny, but they're finding it very, very difficult to get anything from Galway here.
Sideline cut from Tommy Walsh comes straight to Joe Canning. Nice ball inside to Cyril Donlan, who's now taken up residence at the edge of the square. Trying to keep him out is Noel Hickey. Difficult angle for Donlan. Not difficult at all is his response. It's his 3rd point of the first half. 3 against Offaly, 3 against Kilkenny.
Well, Kilkenny look badly rattled. Marty Tommy Walsh there with the sideline that he pucked straight across the field to Joe Canning, and there was one target inside, that was Cyril Donlan, and he has the legs of Noel Hickey, and that's been very profitable for Galway so far. 3 points from Cyril Donlan, and they're going very, very well.
Galway have scored 2 goals and 11 points. 2 goals and 7 of that total is coming from play. It's Richie Hogan. Lovely balanced hurler. Had the vision to see Richie Power on the 45-metre line, and he raises Kilkenny's 2nd white flag of the afternoon. It's their 2nd point. The first after 19 and a half minutes, their 2nd after over half an hour, almost 31 minutes.
Yeah, but Richie Power is playing out centre forward now. Henry Shefflin inside, full forward, and Richie Hogan on the left, and Aidan Fogarty is playing out around the middle of the field to try and counter Damien Hayes. So that leaves Kilkenny with only 5 forwards, and Johnny Cohen, as you remarked earlier, Marty, is really cleaning up the breaks.
Conor Cooney unable to control that slither skipping off the surface. That mist rain seems to have disappeared temporarily, at least. Still very cloudy overhead. Tommy Walsh going to take this sideline ball into the centre. Again, it's almost like a repeat of the last time. Joe Canning with a beautiful stroke of the ball sends it between the posts. It is fantastic. What a score by Joe Canning. It's the 2nd time. It's almost as if we were looking at the video in replay.
Well, Marty, when there's a meltdown, there's a complete meltdown, and that was the 2nd time you'd think that he'd knock it down the wing, because that's normally what you try and do for defensive sidelines. Knock them down the wing, put them into the corners, but of course Kilkenny have nobody down in that right corner, so maybe Tommy was trying to put it across to the midfield and miscued twice, and they set up 2 scores for Galway.
It's a free in for Kilkenny. Just on the D there, Henry Shefflin going to gather it. At this stage, judging by the body language, it looks like he's just going to take his point. That's exactly what he does. 32 minutes gone. 2 points from a free for Henry Shefflin. 1 point from play by Richie Parr. Who could have predicted this?
Well, this is a crucial time now, Marty. 3 or 4 minutes before half-time, so it is for Galway to keep their challenge going. Keep using the ball as they are and keep running at the Kilkenny defence, and really they've got their plans right. You'd have to, you know, Anthony Cunningham has to come in for great praise, because they really have their matchups gone very, very well up in the forward line, and they're leaving Joe inside by himself, or they're leaving Cyril Donlan inside, one forward inside and 1-on-1s with Kilkenny, and it's really causing major problems for the defence. Oh, Tommy Walsh trying to it must have been the hurling try number 3.
And the referee is going to give a throw ball here because he missed it. There was a fresh air there. Still comes to Kilkenny. Johnny Cohen sends it down the wing, and again it's a sideline ball. Andy Smith unable to control it.
But you'd have to question Kilkenny's tactics, Marty. 3 or 4 balls that they've got to hit straight into the right corner where they have no corner forward. Johnny Cohen is over there operating as a free man, and they've hit 3 or 4 balls straight down to him. You think that they try and operate over to the left to Richie Hogan or straight into Henry Shefflin.
Killian Buckley's sideline ball came to Richie Parr, but he loses possession. Gets up on his feet and takes it. But he fouls the Galway man. Referee James McGrath is pointing to Richie Parr for that challenge, and it is a free for Galway. 33 minutes of action that, to be honest with you, we didn't really expect, because Galway, having lost so heavily to Kilkenny in the league, torpedoed by 25 points, 9 points in the Walsh Cup, but this was always the target, and Brian Cody must be a concerned man at this stage. It's not often we see this happening. 2-12 to 3 points, and Kilkenny beaten, particularly around midfield. Galway dominant in the half-back line, and Johnny Cohen very vigilant. Good work here by Kevin Hines. Not a natural full-back, but doing well, but losing out this time to Richie Parr. Tony O'Gregan, high challenge on the full forward from Carrick Shock, and that is a free in for Kilkenny.
Well, Kevin Hines had it originally and should have done a little bit better, maybe tried to place it outside and lost it, and then a foul on Richie Power. So, you know, Kilkenny will have to get, you know, keep tapping the ball over the bar and try and hope then that they'll get a goal. But they've got no pressure whatsoever on Kevin Hines, who's a, you know, a converted fullback at the best.
Henry Shefflin taps it over the bar for his 3rd, and Kilkenny's 4th.
Yeah, and incredibly, Marty, as we come up to half-time, Kilkenny have 1 point from play. That's a point from Richie Power. So that's a stat that you don't normally see.
Puck out by James Scahill from Capitagan. Saw him play under 21 hurling over the last number of years, and it was really outstanding, particularly in the All-Ireland semi-final against Clare 2 or 3 years ago. Ball breaks out for Richie Doyle. It's 2 against 1. But the 1 is Henry Shefflin. Ball breaks free. And again it's Johnny Cohen. Outside him was Niall Donoghue, but he goes for distance. Slips off the fingertips of Cyril Donlan. Cyril acknowledges that the pass was good, but he had made a miss of it. 1 minute of additional time in this first half. And again, it's Johnny Cohen. Takes his eye off it this time. David Collins recovers. What a point he scored in this first half. The right corner back from half back. Michael Rice getting on the ball, laying it off versus captain Owen Larkin, trying to get inside the cover of Collins. It's Larkin, passing it inside, great ball. There's danger here for Galway, and a chance for Kilkenny, and the goalkeeper comes charging out. It's Scahill, he's a big man. 6'5", he stood on the ground. That's the man from Capitagan, and again there is the clenched fist, and the save by James Scahill signals the half-time whistle being blown by the referee from Westmeath, James McGrath. Brian Cody will be happy to get his team into the dressing room at half-time, because a goal by Joe Canning after 2.5 minutes, another goal by David Burke after 22, gives Galway a substantial lead. It's a serious problem for the All-Ireland champions. Galway 2-12, Kilkenny 4 points. Welcome back to the second half, and straight from the throw in, it is Cyril Donlan that gets his 4th point of the game. Remarkable stuff, and it is so important from a Galway perspective, when you're playing this great Kilkenny team, who are in trouble no doubt, that you maintain your concentration. A point at the start of the second half, huge psychological boost.
Yeah, great score, because you want to start as you finish, Marty, and Cyril Donlan, excellent. He's having a great season, very, very good and very impressive against Offaly the last day, and he's playing out left half forward now, and he's being marked by Paul Murphy, who's normally a cornerback, because Kilkenny have 5 backs, and that create enormous space for Galway and give them a huge advantage.
Going to take the sideline cut is David Collins, Young Player of the Year back in 2005. In his 7th championship season. Just getting a little touch there was Richie Doyle. The umpire is adamant that went off a Galway man last. Protests a little bit weak from Conor Cooney. Decision stands. It's a puck out for David Herity.
Yeah, Martin, just looking down at Kilkenny, a little bit of confusion in the defence. Tommy Walsh came over to mark Cyril Donlan, and Paul Murphy pushed him away to the left-hand side, and he's gone out now to try and mark David Burke in the left half-back position, and James McGrath, I think, has given it a 65.
And the referee has actually overruled his umpire down at that Hill 16 end. Tom McNicholas and Johnny Fitzpatrick are down there. And the referee felt that the right decision was a 65, to his credit. So this is a chance for Joe Canning, who scored a goal and 5 points in the first half. Cracking goal after just 2.5 minutes. Hits it, but it's tailing left and wide. That is only Galway's 5th wide of the game. They had just 4 in the first half. Everything was going over. As the lads were saying at half-time in the analysis, Donald mentioned here as well about meltdown. Surely Henry Shefflin was being held back. Eventually there's a free given to Henry Shefflin, but to be honest with you, I can concur with Henry's thoughts. It was a clear foul. Look at the holding there by Kevin Hines. But referee finally giving the decision to the black and amber.
And that's the second puck out that David Hurry has hit straight down there, like a yellow card for Kevin Hines, but that's the second puck out that he's hit straight down towards Shefflin. Shefflin won the first one in the first half, and he's won the second one as well here now, so maybe that'll be the tactic for Kilkenny in the second half.
Galway men on the line. Henry Shefflin standing over the ball, taking his point, his 4th of the match, and trying to encourage and inspire his colleagues further out the field. And remember now, and it's important to note, that Henry Shefflin has gone in full forward. Kevin Hines, the Galway full-back, is now on a yellow card. So now whether or not Anthony Cunningham may decide to change things around, or just hope that Kevin Hines doesn't foul for a second time. Loose ball picked up by Michael Rice. Hand pass intercepted clearly by Joe Canning. Back there again is Jackie Tyrrell. Head down, ball in hand. Sideline ball given to Galway. And once again, it's Joe Canning.
Yeah, and Galway are being very, very forceful. They're not allowing the Kilkenny defenders out as easy as they normally get, and Jackie Tyrrell, they've targeted him particularly, and forcing him out there, and good sideline one by and Joe Canning. Probably go for this one now. He had a short one, the first one, the first half. Could go for this, and they stick it over the bar. It'll be a huge psychological blow for Kilkenny if he gets it.
Twice an All-Ireland minor medalist, twice an under-21 All-Ireland medalist. This one is wide again. 6 wides for Galway. Just to the left. Loose ball, Johnny Cohen puts in the hurl. Centre half forward is TJ Reid. Breaking ball comes out, knocked off a Galway man. Picked up by Niall Donoghue. Kilbakenty. The Kilbakenty man fouled the possession, and that's going to be a free for Kilkenny.
Yeah, 3 times. Marty Galway will want to be careful here now that they don't give away frees and that they don't turn over possession. That sideline puck went wide, and you know, bit by bit, if you entice Kilkenny and you invite them on, no better team to come on, and all you need is a goal or two, and you know, maybe questions will be asked, and you know, a little bit of doubts coming to Galway play, and that will all suit Kilkenny.
Free taken by Paul Murphy. Galway come away with it with Andy Smith. Laying it up. Farris Cyril Dunn scored 4 wonderful points in the first half. Sweeps it over towards Damien Hayes. He carried a little bit too much strength. Hayes gets there. It's a straight pull, but back there is Tommy Walsh, unmarked. Has the time and the composure to drive it long. Given a bit of verbal abuse by a colleague, he should have gone short. It's not often you have that happen in a match that somebody goes out to Tommy. Once again, it's Michael Rice. Survives the initial challenge, uses the short grip, sends a ball in, and that is going over the bar. Michael Rice, is he the man to show them the way back into the game?
Yeah, fine score by Michael Rice there, you know, a very forceful player, and obviously himself and Michael Fennelly are the top choice Kilkenny midfielders, and Michael Fennelly's been his loss has been felt in a big way today.
Puck out by James Scahill. Loose ball picked up this time by Killian Buckley. Played it left half forward in the league final. Batted away. Good call by Richie Doyle. Sends it out to the wing. A race for possession. Moore. It's Collins. Goes back to sweep up. Goes back first to centre half back Tony O'Gregan. Comes from his centre half forward Niall Burke. 2 good points so far in this championship. A lovely diagonal ball. 2 Portumna lads going for it, and it's Canning. Smith is outside. Canning looks around. He floats one in, and it's a very dangerous ball cut out this time by Tommy Walsh. As Canning tried to create an opportunity for his club and county mate Damien Hayes. Johnny Cohen beaten on this occasion by the Kilkenny captain. It's in fact Aidan Fogarty. Johnny Cohen goes back to track, and it's out over the sideline ball for Galway.
Well, I think if we look at the last bit of play there, a beautiful ball across the field for Joe Canning. I think Joe would have been better advised just to knock it over the bar. You know, every little nail in the coffin is important, and every little miss by Galway now gives Kilkenny an extra little bit of heart.
Loose ball again. Rice shouldered off it by Damien Hayes. Galway with possession. Sending it low as the goal scorer, David Burke. Andy Smith, a little bit too fancy. Easily cut out by Brian Hogan. There's a little bit of afters between Hogan and David Burke, but they continue on. Down at the other end, it's Henry Shefflin battling hard. Fergal Moore is there, and it is Tony O'Gregan charging forward in the middle of the field. I haven't actually ever seen Regan do this. Great work by the centre back, and TJ Reid dispossesses it. Sends it low along the surface towards Richie Power. Good work by Owen Larkin. It's Larkin with a little bit of help coming from TJ Reid. Good work by the captain, showing a little bit of inspiration. Has to go back to try and maintain possession. Little step inside from Killian Buckley. Floats one in high. 2 against 2. Power at the end of it. Inside the large rectangle. There too is Fergal Moore. It's a chance for Kilkenny! Brilliantly struck home. And Kilkenny rejoice in Croke Park.
Well, if you watch him, Marty, you know, the Galway fullback got caught in front of Richie Power. Richie Power went up and just parted to Richie Hogan on his own, and he stuck it. Watch it again, came in from behind him, came in behind Fergal Moore. Kevin Hines then was caught picking up Henry Shefflin and Richie Hogan free and buried it. And you know, Kilkenny have played much better since the change of halves, and certainly you know, we saw little mistakes by Galway. Tony O'Grady making a 60-yard run when he could have struck it, and they lost the ball, and bit by bit they're inviting Kilkenny onto them.
Kilkenny back in business. A goal after 44 minutes by Richie Hogan. David Collins, Kilkenny now showing a bit of intensity. Stepping aside from the challenge is Damien Hayes. All-Star hurler 2005. The pass inside was not a good one. Comes to David Burke. 1-1 in the first half. Great stick work. Blocked superbly. He has it again as he was falling down. What a fabulous piece of skill by David Burke. He's now scored a goal and 2 points. A magnificent goal in the first half, but watch the skill, watch the stick work, the balance. This shouldn't have been a score, but look at that, beautiful.
Great score, Marty, right, and that'll get the crowd on their feet.
Back it comes to Neil Donoghue. Sending it up long. Gathered this time by Owen Larkin. Left half forward on his back. Left half back in reality. Trying to create chances. Tony O'Gregan, Henry Sheffield, knocked away by Kevin Hines. Comes out for Richie Power. Hand pass over to Michael Rice. He's already scored a point. He's throwing the slither up into the air, hitting it high, but it's left and wide for Kilkenny's third wide of the game.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that, Marty, because Aidan Fogarty had made a little run off his marker there, and there was a big space in front of him, and that you'll be expecting Rice to pick him out, but he'll be very disappointed with that effort. Every chance that Kilkenny get now is vital to their cause.
Tuck out by James Scahill. Joe Canning. Hogan with him. Was Canning fouled? The referee thought so. There's a free in for Galway. Tommy Walsh pushing Andy Smith away, but Canning was fouled here clearly by Brian Hogan. A free in for the men from the West. And a chance for Joe Canning.
Yeah, and Brian Hogan picked up a yellow card for that, man. That was his third personal foul. I think lucky to get away with the first one, and the second one picked up a yellow there, and I think the referee is dishing out the yellow cards a bit easier this half. Kevin Hines got one there for, you know, knocking the snuff foul, but I think anything that stops up the play, he's going to be hard on that.
Fully concentrated. It's Joe Canning. Takes nothing for granted and puts it over the bar. It's still a very impressive scoreline if you're from Galway, and it's a daunting task even for a great side. The All-Ireland champions, Leinster champions, Kilkenny, and Galway go forward again. It's Burke being held by Noel Hickley. One of them, two of them. Play continues. Burke is a hard grafter. Scored a fantastic point that I'll talk about for a long time. Ball inside. It's a poor one to Paul Murphy. In comes Andy Smith. Ball breaks free for Cyril Donlan. Tries to get around. Hand passes it back outside. There's a flick on. Fires Damien Hayes. First time pull. In towards the corner. As Galway retain possession. Canning. Lovely stick work. Dodges and dives. Then turns. Shoots. And is that a score or what? Joe Canning. They may talk to Joe Duffy on the radio, but you have to talk to Joe Canning when it comes to hurling of this quality. Magnificent.
Well, beautiful little shimmy there, right, and held the ball well, as every good forward does. You know, seems to play in slow motion, and a beautiful point to finish.
Puck out, comes down towards Johnny Cohen. He's had so much ball. It's hard to imagine. Done really well. Damien Hayes working hard. Brian Cody encouraging from the sideline. So too Anthony Cunningham. Earl Italian coming across to take this.
Well, Damien Hayes has been very, very effective today, Marty. You know, sometimes, you know, in the past he played a roving role and wasn't that effective, but highly effective today, highly effective against Offaly and against Dublin as well. So he's really in great form this season, and he's a thorn on Kilkenny sides all day.
Hard-working Brian Hogan getting away from Cyril Donlan. Ball inside from Richie Hogan, cut out by Tony O'Gregan. Hand pass to Andy Smith is a poor one. Comes in with a hefty challenge on Hogan, but Hogan from in front of the sideline. Now comes the keeper, but Shefflin gets the touch. Henry makes it a goal and 4 points for him personally, and 2 goals and 6 points for Kilkenny. The complexion on the scoreboard is changing. Beautiful ball inside.
There didn't seem to be any danger there, right, and then the ball was given away, and over to Richie Hogan. Tony O'Gregan would have been better, maybe just to shepherd him down the line a bit. Went for the big shoulder, missed him, and beautiful cross. Shefflin, you know, the old head, they mastered up high and just knocked it into net. And now 10 points between them. You know, Galway still in the driving seat, Martin, but bit by bit, you know, Kilkenny are coming back to this game.
David Burke sends it into the centre. Here goes Damien Hayes, up again on his scooter to try and re-establish a better lead. It's Damien Hayes' first point of this Leinster final, and it's now 2-17 to 2-6. Lovely sweet ball by David Burke. Great vision. Here comes Hayes. Good engine, good score.
Great pace, Martin.
Comes down past Richie Power. Working hard. Big challenge by Andy Smith, being fouled by the midfielder. Free in for Kilkenny. Free going to be taken by Henry Shefflin. To steady the ship, to reduce their opponent's lead. And that is over the bar. A goal and 5. All the points coming from frees. 10 points between the teams, 20 minutes to go.
I just looked down there, Marty, and Damien Hayes has gone back now into a standard right corner forward position, almost full forward now, being marked by Noel Hickey, and that's a poor matchup for Kilkenny pace-wise. If the ball can go in, if Galway can get up with a quality ball into him, he'll do reconcile there.
Brian Hogan. Niall Donoghue hit a fair shoulder. First by Richie Potter, then by Richie Hogan. Survived the two Richies to deliver the ball. Hogan again, rock solid. Looked like a frontal charge from Cyril Donnelly. It was. It's a free for the All-Ireland winning captain of last year. Ball inside. Referee wants the whistle to be taken again.
Yeah, definite free there by Cyril Donnelly, straight into the chest of Brian Hogan. And one have to say that James McGrath is refereeing it very, very well, Marty. He's been very sensible, yeah. And the play is flowing. And I suppose he's letting the play go on. And Kilkenny normally get the benefit of that because that's their style, but Galway are imposing their own style on Kilkenny today.
Free by David Herrity, drops it to the square. TJ Reid goes up, the ball comes loose. It's a scramble, comes back outside to Richie. Saved this time by James Scahill. Richie Hogan got a slight touch on it, and it goes out over the sideline. Sideline ball for Kilkenny.
Yeah, Richie Hogan just standing off as a good goal poacher does, and Aidan Fogarty just unlucky trying to knock the ball forward with his boot there, and if it had come a bit faster and a bit cleaner, maybe Richie Hogan might have stuck in the back of the net, but Galway survived.
Michael Rice, sideline cut into the middle. Donoghue tries to get a touch. It's Cohen again. Nipping across is Henry Shefflin. Lovely stick work. And Henry gets his first point from play. And Kilkenny remain very much alive.
Yeah, great example of forward play there. He had to adjust his stick to make sure he wasn't hooked, and another good point from Henry Shefflin, and his influence is growing in the game.
Galway changing. They're taking off Conor Cooney, and coming on is number 22. That's Jonathan Glenn. And Glenn immediately in the action. Quick layup. Michael Rice has made an impact, certainly since he was introduced. Great catch as Kilkenny show their character. Aidan Fogarty at the end of this. Johnny Cohen beaten on this occasion. Fogarty fouled. Free in for Kilkenny.
Yeah, and that's far better, supply. Michael Rice knocked the ball up there for Fogarty, and we saw in the first half, I know they were under pressure and they didn't have much ball. They were just striking the ball willy-nilly into the defence, and Johnny Cohen was picking up an amount of free ball, but bit by bit Kilkenny are getting back and they're using the ball much better in the second half.
Henry Shefflin taking his point. It's a 1 goal and 7 points tally for this man. And Kilkenny edge a little bit closer. Yellow card for Johnny Cohen. Brian Cody believes that his team can still come back in this Leinster final. 16 minutes left on a dramatic day in Croke Park. And no matter where you are in the world, I have no doubt you're enjoying this. This is going to be stern action by the referee, a yellow card for David Collins. Scores a point, gets a yellow card. It's a mixed day for Collins, and when you see that challenge, you'd have to agree with the referee.
Well, what was wrong about it from a Galway point of view, Marty, was the fact that Joe Canning was in possession and there was no need for David Collins to do it, and that's a little breakdown in discipline, and bit by bit, as I said, they're inviting Kilkenny onto them, and that's always a dangerous thing. I know there's 15 minutes left, and there's 8 points in it, but that's a dangerous thing when you're playing Kilkenny.
Henry Shefflin dropping it in again. The ball comes loose and picked up by Johnny Cohen. On fire is Andy Smith. Little bit of misunderstanding between himself and his colleague. That happens to be Jonathan Glenn. Overfires Joe Canning in space. Trouble looming for Kilkenny. Canning puts it between the posts. It's a goal and 8 points for Joe Canning. A goal and 7 points for Henry Shefflin. There's not just a county battle, there's a personal battle in terms of the scoring stakes. Ball in for his Canning. He had the chance, he took it with a plop.
And great vision from Johnny Glynn to pick him out.
Ball sent down by Hickey. Plenty of space for Henry Shefflin. In comes Tony Regan to challenge. Fair challenge is the referee. Henry on his knees. Ball is there loose. Scrapping, and it's Johnny Cohen again. They'll be writing songs about this guy if they win this Leinster title. Cohen to Andy Smith. Smith gives it long. Over for his Joe Canning, who Galway have given kind of a little bit more of a free roll, taking on Paul Murphy. The 24-year-old is hard to stop. It takes 2 men to stop him, and even then he wins a free. And Joe Canning is trying to inspire his colleagues to keep up the momentum. Is this going to be their day?
Well, you can see bit by bit, you know, Joe Canning being left inside with a variety of defenders. Paul Murphy picking him up that time, and you know, no need for Tommy Walsh to come in there and give the free away. So another little chance for Galway to extend their lead.
James Regan is on for Galway, and the player that's going off is Irla Tanyan, who was very good in the opening 25 minutes or so. So possibly tiredness there affecting Irla Tanyan. Kilkenny are going to bring off, TJ Reid is going off, and Matthew Ruth is coming on. But on the field, it's Joe Canning, steadying the ship. Just when the few leaks were being exposed at the other end, he registers his 9th point. 1-9 for Joe Canning, 2-19 for Galway, 2-9 Kilkenny. This is Matthew Ruth, son of Matt Ruth, who won several All-Ireland medals with Kilkenny. TJ Reid, who scored a wonderful goal against Dublin, is the player going off. David Collins. Back to Johnny Cohen. Johnny goes long. Paul Murphy comes forward. Survives the first challenge. Gives it long. Dangerous ball. Owen Larkin underneath it. Ball comes free. Pulled on first down. And James Skehill stands his ground and comes away with a slither and drives it long. Joe Canning, hefty challenge. Surely that was a foul. He ended up injured himself. Coming away with it with the slither in the hand is Cyril Donlan. Lays it off inside for his James Regan. Won back superbly by Jackie Tyrrell. Goes long. Tries to get Richie Parr. Comes in just at the right, well, almost the right time. Ball batted down for his Andy Smith. A crossfield ball, but it just didn't work. David Herity comes off his goal line. Gets there ahead of James Regan. Farrell's Jackie Tyrrell. Jackie goes for distance. Long ball again. Big Tony O'Gregan is behind it. So too is Kevin Hines. Great catch by Tommy Walsh. Was undecided what exactly to do with the ball. Gives it instead for his Richie Power. Richie goes for the score. It has the legs, it has the power, and it has the accuracy. 2nd point for Richie Power. 9 points between the teams.
Well, great play up and down the field there, Marty. You know, both sides, great credit due to both sides there, right? And ball coming eventually to Richie Power, and he stuck it over the bar. But Galway very unlucky there with that crossfield pass to James Regan. If he had got it, he was in for a goal, the former minor. He's a very direct runner, and he'll give a bit of impetus there now too.
Aidan Fogarty's ball inside is escorted literally over the end line by James Skehill. Seconds ticking on the clock. Moves the foot perhaps along the sideline. Anthony Cunningham, first year in charge, won 2 senior All-Ireland medals himself in 1987 and 88. Captained the Galway Miners to win their first All-Ireland title back in 1983. He's been successful with St. Bridget's and Roscommon, with Gary Castle and Westmeath. Is it possible that he's going to guide Galway to their very first historic Leinster title? Just about 11 minutes on the clock. Still plenty of time. Gathering the ball in his hand is Jonathan Glenn. Gives it into the centre to David Burke. 1-2 behind his name. Ball drops into David Herity. Survives the initial challenge. Gives it to Jackie Tyrrell. Jackie, All-Ireland under-21 captain in 2003 to beat Galway. Knocked down by Johnny Cohen. It's Kilkenny to try and retain possession. Killian Buckley trying to set up Owen Larkin. Instead it comes to Canning. Quick ball inside towards Damien Hayes. Ball skids off the surface. Kilkenny man without a hurl. It's Brian Hogan that has the hurl. Sends it back long. Batted down by David Burke. Cleverly to Joe Canning, who clearly called. In the middle of the pitch, he drives the slither long, and David Herity waves it over the end line. The drama continues in Croke Park. A pulsating match.
Well,
hard to believe what happened in the first half.
10 minutes to go now, Marty, and Galway 9 points up. You know, it's within themselves to close out the game, and Joe Canny coming way out the field now, winning a lot of ball, and you know, they're making sure they're just playing 2 inside forwards, or just 1 at times, and that's causing Kilkenny huge problems. And from this point of view, you'd be expecting Galway to go ahead and win it.
Change in the Galway team. Niall Burke looks to be the man that's coming off, and Pag Harron coming on. So number 25, Pag Harron is on from the Liam Mellows club in Galway City. And going off is Niall Burke, who really started well and has really given his all. A little wink, and perhaps the job is almost there. Yeah, but when you're playing Kilkenny, Tom, you're never sure.
Yeah, but he went down about 5 minutes ago there, Marty, and seemed to be affected by a leg injury, so maybe that's the reason for him coming off.
Joe Canny dropping this right and wide. Well, back in 2010, when they last met in the Leinster final, and first and only time, there was 31,376. 22,171 in Croke Park. To witness potential, history. Here is Cyril Dunn. 4 points he scored in the first half. Oh, it hits off the top of the post. Comes back, umpire signals wide. Puck out quickly taken by David Herity. Referee's whistle is blown. He said the puck out was taken too quickly, and it's going to be taken again. Brian Cody talks to Mick Dempsey. Is there another change about to happen? Pulled on first time by Tony O'Gregan. Pag Harron gets his first touch, and potentially a second. Nipping in, however, is James Regan. The substitutes are working hard. Lovely stick work by Regan. He knows he's going to be hooked if he tries a shot. Stepping up, however, to the mark is Tommy Walsh. Drives it long. In far is Killian Buckley. Dicks for a man. Stepping by the challenge. Low ball inside towards Richie Power. But again, it dribbles along the surface and out over the end line and wide. Yeah,
just a little mix-up communication-wise there, because both Richie Power and Richie Hogan came for the same ball, and if Richie Hogan had gone in behind, or Richie Power had stayed where he was, maybe Killian Buckley would have picked him up, but you could see what he was trying to do, knock a through ball, and James Cahill just escorted it wide.
Skell's puck out. Batted down by the Galway team that is really playing with tremendous passion. But that, from their perspective, a little bit disappointing as their 10th white. 63 minutes played, 7 minutes to go. 9 points between the teams. At half-time, there was an 18-point gap. But the All-Ireland champions have responded. Despite the loss of Michael Finlay in the league final, what a loss he has been. Kilkenny's passion and heart once again to the fore. But you cannot even afford to miss players like Michael Finlay, as there's a bit of afters going on here between Aidan Fogarty and David Burke. But Finlay's loss is huge, Donald.
Well, you know, hurler of the year last year. You know, I've always said a box-to-box player, fella who's back in his own 30-metre line defending 1 minute. He's back up in the opposing 30-metre line. You know, the next minute he's a huge player, and you know, he'd be a loss to any team. And I suppose Kilkenny, after the double match, felt that, you know, Killian Buckley and Paddy Hogan did very, very well that night, but they were exposed a little bit today. Killian Buckley hurling well in the second half, but you know, Finlay would be a loss, and is a huge loss to Kilkenny.
Henry Shefflin gets his 8th point of the game. 2:19, 2:11. 6 minutes left. And who has the slipper here? It's Jonathan Glenn. Takes too many steps. Free for Kilkenny. And you're never sure that you've beaten Kilkenny, or indeed you've won the Bob O'Keefe Cup, until you're on the N17 and you know where you're heading for. Ball down over the sideline. Who touched it last? It would seem to be a Galway ball.
Yeah, Jackie Tyrrell there trying to find a quick ball to Richie Hogan, and just screwed out over the line. But Galway now with 6 or 7 minutes left. You know, we're going to be taking time out of everything. Freeze, puck outs, just slowing the game down and just making sure they're 8 points up, and just making sure that they kill the momentum of the game.
Ball cut in by Johnny Cole, grabbed superbly by Cyril Donlan. Dropping it in but it's well to the right and wide. That is 11 wides for Galway in this match.
Yeah, that's about the 5th wide mark in the last 5 minutes, and you know, if they had got 1 or 2 of those, the match was closed out.
Loose ball comes as far as Killian Buckley. David Collins in close attention, flicking one into the centre. There's trouble here for Galway. Good blocking down. Matthew Root had an opportunity. Comes out for Niall Donoghue. The referee's whistle is blown. And I'm not too sure what he's giving here, to be honest with you.
I think he's saying that you know, one of the Galway players had pulled somebody, that there was a little bit of pulling or dragging, and that he's giving the free in, I think, to Kilkenny, and he's giving a throw-in.
Throw ball, in fact. Andy Smith was asking what happened, and he grabs the sliotar and comes away with it. Pumps it down the wing. Ty Harron. Noel Hickey with it. Harron, aware of the challenge coming in. Referee's whistle is blown. Said he took too much out of it. Free to Kilkenny. There is a nervousness in the Galway camp, one senses, despite having that 8-point advantage. Silly mistakes just being made at the moment. Perhaps Damien Hayes can engineer a little bit of space for Joe Canny. Chased by Paul Murphy. Canny on the ground, trying to hold on. Murphy coming in to challenge. Cyril Donlan, tenacious as always, getting by Brian Hogan. Knocked off the hurl. Sideline ball for Galway. And the clock ticks towards the 70th minute. A
great commitment by Cyril Donlan. He's had a very, very good game for Galway, and he's been everywhere. Has had Tony O'Regan as well at centre back, so that'll suit Galway nicely. Take, you know, 20 seconds out of the clock there, and you know, decide what they want to do, and you know, slow it down. 8 points up. Referees pointing to the watch now, making them hurry up. But I think that Galway will be more advised just to, you know, take things out of it. Joe Canning taking a sideline here. This can take up to 30 seconds off the clock at times, Marty, and that's all they're trying to do at this stage, to kill the game.
And Joe Cannon takes it short for Ty Harron. Well won back by Noel Hickey. Far as Jackie Tyrrell. Andy Cohen going to backtrack, but Tony O'Regan says he'll take care of it. Gets by the initial challenge. Floats one in. It's a good ball. Jonathan Glenn gets it almost second time. Killian Buckley, Brian Hogan. It's Hogan under pressure. Back there is Damien Hayes. Named at left corner forward, but roaming all over the place since 4 o'clock this afternoon. Nice hook by Fergal Moore. Ball slips off his fingertips over the sideline. Sideline ball for Kilkenny. 68 minutes gone. 8 points between the teams. Surely this is history in the making. Surely Galway can hold on for their very first Leinster title in what undoubtedly has to be the shock of 2012. Going back down, Jackie Tyrrell confronted by James Regan. Goes long, Brian Hogan. And there's a chance here for Matthew Root. Takes a shot, and it skids off the surface in Croke Park on the wrong side of the post. And is that perhaps Kilkenny's last chance, last hurrah, on a day when even they must be mesmerised by a first half performance that saw Galway score 2 goals and 12 points to Kilkenny's 4 points, and Kilkenny, All-Ireland champions, held scoreless for the first 19 and a half minutes. Tony O'Regan, short puck out, 2 minutes of additional time. The fresh legs of James Regan. Looking outside is Cyril Donlan. Donlan calls for it. Gathers it second time round. Steps inside the challenge. Can he score from there? Yes, he can. It's Féidir Lynn, says Cyril Donlan, for his 5th point of the match. And surely now, the Bob O'Keefe Cup, for the very first time in the GA's history, in the Leinster's history of wonderful hurling, it's going across to Shannon, back to Galway for the very first time. Owen Larkin brings it forward. Galway thinking about introducing another sub. Larkin floats one in. There's a connection. A last man to touch it was a Kilkenny man, and that goes out over the end line. Galway now going to bring in Joseph Cooney, son of legendary Joe Cooney from the Sarsfields Club around Bullawn and Newin. They love their hurling. Played right half back. Going off is 5-point scorer Cyril Donlan from the Pádraig Pearson's Club around Gurteen and Ballymacworth in East Galway.
I think he epitomised the effort today, Marty. He's been very, very good from the start, as I said, Tony O'Regan and Damien Hayes as well as Joe Canning. They've been excellent, and they've brought the fight to Kilkenny from the start.
Joseph Cooney immediately into the action. Slither in hand. Out the way first, Damien Hayes flicks it forward. Scored only 1 point, but what a hero for Galway this afternoon in Croke Park. We have touched off and gone beyond the 70th minute. Anthony Cunningham, he won the Under-21 All-Ireland title last year as manager. Is he about to add the Leinster title to his very impressive and growing CV, and beaten the man that indeed is the king of all managers, Brian Cody?
Well, he got the tactics spot on, Marty. You would have to say he had the players to carry out those tactics as well. But I mean, has been very, very good since the start. They've completely unhinged Kilkenny in the first half, and you know, fully deserving of their victory here.
Standing over the slither, Joe Canning taps it over, and for the very first time, Joe Canning shows a little bit of emotion because he knows the cup is heading westwards.
And you would have to say, Marty, from the very start, you know, we saw a new Joe Canning, extremely fit, huge work rate all day, like, as well as the scores, and that is something that he hasn't always shown, but brilliant today.
Going back to gather is Paul Murphy. Ball comes towards Andy Smith. Stepping away from Owen Larkin. Sending a diagonal ball, but there's nobody there except David Herity, goalkeeper. 72 minutes played in Croke Park on a day when we expected Kilkenny to win. But you are watching on RTE Live the Sunday game, history being made, because for the very first time since the GAA was founded in 1884, the Bob O'Keefe Cup, commemorating a man that was a native of Kilkenny, that won an All-Ireland with Laois and was a former president, is going back, going for the first time westwards across the Shannon. The Volvo Ocean Race may be over in Galway, the ships may be gone out, but there's a new ship coming into port, and on it will be the name Bob O'Keefe. It is an emotional day for anybody who loves Galway hurling, a historic day, and you've watched it here.
A tremendous day, and from the start, Marty, they took the game to Kilkenny, completely unhinged them, and I think great tactics. They had just 1-on-1 inside the 20-metre line, and you know, they picked the players out when they were in possession. There was no aimless striking the ball like Galway teams of the past. Everything was done in measured tones, and you know, great credit going to Anthony Cunningham, and great credit going to the players, every one of them, and particularly the defence. They stay with the Kilkenny players. Owen Larkin, TJ Reid, right, completely stuffed out of it, and you know, once they got to half time, while the game was won, and you know, bit by bit they strangled Kilkenny, and they won by 10 points and fully deserved in the end.
For Galway people all over the world, like Orla Callahan, daughter of Tex Callahan, who's part of the Galway backroom team, who's watching the game in Perth, and for everybody who's been watching the Sunday game live all over the world, you are watching a little bit of history, for this is Galway's first ever Leinster senior hurling title, defeating the All-Ireland champions on a full-time score of Galway 2 goals, 21 points, Kilkenny 2-11.
It's only the fucking stuff.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, Martin Skelly from County Longford, chairman of the Leinster Council, saying the congratulatory words. But what a performance by Anthony Cunningham and his team in his very first year in charge. Disappointment for Tommy Walsh, but he's done it so many times in the past, including 10 Leinster Championship medals. The Bob O'Keefe Cup, native of Kilkenny, as I mentioned earlier, went on to win an All-Ireland with Laois and president of the GAA in the 1930s. It is the biggest cup in the GAA world, and it is going across the River Shannon for the very first time. Before a crowd of 22,171. Joe Canning, who contributed 1 goal and 10, and Tomas Mulcahy is absolutely correct. This was a team effort. Pride of place, passion, intensity. These were the words being mentioned in the Galway dressing room beforehand. Damien Hayes, Jackie Tyrrell, disappointed. They all looked a little bit shocked. Noel Hickey just beside him. And Martin Skelly has the honour, as chairman of the Leinster Council, to hand over the trophy to a Turlough Moore man from County Galway. Owen Larkin, captain of Kilkenny, must be so disappointed. They never got out of the blocks as Galway threw everything at him. But what a performance by this man. He guided Garrycastle to the All-Ireland Club football final, St. Bridget's of Roscommon to the All-Ireland Club final. That meant several Connacht and Leinster club titles. Took over the Galway under-21 team, won the All-Ireland, and now senior team. He has brought them to the promised land of Leinster Championship glory. They lost the final in 2010. They've won it in 2012. And Anthony Cunningham from St. Thomas's in Peterswell, Kilcreast area of Galway, a place where they really love their hurling. This is a momentous occasion for him. Joe Canning, tears of joy, and rightfully so, gets a word of congratulations from Tony O'Gregan. Canning, just 24, won't be 25 until December. David Burke, who will ever forget his goal and 2 points, and the point in particular, would you believe, when he was on his knees. But Martin Skelly is finally going to present the trophy. Here it is. This is history. This is something special. It's never been seen before since the GAA was founded in 1884. It's Fergal Moore, captain of Galway, lifting the Leinster trophy for the very first time.